insidious impropriety. There is at times something almost heroic in the resolution with which women like Pauline Mills defend themselves from whatever might shift the centers of their complacency. But even without Pauline, it interests me greatly to undertake this book, of which I have said in the title as much as a phrase may of the scope of the undertaking. For if I know anything of genius, it is wholly extraneous, derived, impersonal, flowing through and by. I cannot tell you what it is, but I hope to show you a little of how I was seized of it, shaped, what resistances opposed to it, what surrenders. I mean to put as plainly as possible how I felt it fumbling at my earlier life like the sea at the foot of a tidal wall, and by what rifts in the structure of living its inundation rose upon me, by what practices and passions I was enlarged to it, and by what well-meaning of my friends I was cramped and hardened. But of its ultimate operation, once it had worked up through my stiff clay, of triumphs, profits, all the intricacies of technique, gossip of rehearsals, you shall hear next to nothing. This is the story of the struggle between a genius for tragic acting and the daughter of a county clerk, with the social ideal of Taylorville, Ohio, for the villain. It is a drama in which none of the characters played the parts they were cast for, and invariably spoke from the wrong cues, which nevertheless proceeded to a successful denouement. But if you are looking for anything ordinarily called plot, you will be disappointed. Plot is distinctly the province of fiction, though I have a notion there is a sort of order in my story, if one could look at it from the vantage of the gods. But I have never rightly made it out. What I mean to go about is the exploitation of the personal phases of genius, of which, when it refers to myself, you must not understand me to speak as of a peculiar merit, like the faculty for presiding at a women's club or baking 16 pies of a morning, which distinguished one Taylorvillian from another, rather as a seizure, a possession which overtook me unaware, like one of those insidious oriental disorders which you may never die of but can never be cured. You shall hear how I did successfully stave it off in my youth for the sake of a working tailor and men's outfitter, and was nearly intimidated out of it by the wife of a Chicago attorney who had something to do with stocks.